What's going on, everybody? Steve DeCasa here, finally back again with a video. This is Ask Steve episode 5. And as you can imagine, it's been a while since my last upload, my last tutorial upload. I've uploaded a funny video when I went to Six Flags. I uploaded a scene from Swingers that I did. But it's time to jump back into the meat of this channel. It's been a while, so I've got lots and lots of questions from personal messages and from comments that I'm going to get to. I have no doubt that this is going to be a two-part episode. I'm just going to roll with it. I'm just going to answer as many as I can and just power through. Once the video hits about maybe 25, 30 minutes, I think that's the point where I'm going to stop and link you to the next video. So why have I been... Where have I been? That's the question. Where have I been? I recently moved. You might notice that this is a different setting that I'm in. So things have been up in the air, just getting settled. It's taken me a while to just, get situated. Started a new full-time job. My last tutorial, the 3-point lighting tutorial, I mentioned that. I actually shot the tutorial in the studio that is above the editing suite where I work. And I'm having a great time. I'm blessed that I am editing full-time and shooting full-time, and the opportunities are growing and growing. I can't really get into too much about it, but I'm very happy with where I'm at. Fortunately, it takes up a lot of my time. It's a 9-to-5 job, Monday to Friday, and on the weekends, I am shooting weddings every now and again. So, excuse me, it's been hard to find time to do these videos, but I'm here, I'm powering through. I'm doing this one, a super long Ask Steve, and this weekend I'm going to be filming a new tutorial. It's all about focus, techniques for focus for filmmaking, especially with the DSLR, why it's important, and just how to make sure you're on point with it. When you're shooting yourself, it's pretty difficult. I needed a bit of assistance from my girlfriend. Thanks, honey. So anyway, let's jump right into the questions. Some of the questions will involve some Final Cut. I'll have some screen capture for you. Let's just jump right in. So, what do we got right here? First one is a personal message from JSunday37. This is with the subject 24p Blues. Great videos. I'm having a difficult time with some footage I shot on a Panasonic DVX100 at 24p basic on mini DV. I've tried importing it as 24p, 23.98, and 29.97. It shows up as 29.97 in my Final Cut Pro 7 browser. I've dropped it into both 29.97 and 23.98 sequences. When I export it as QuickTime or MPEG, the video is jumpy and jittery. I just can't get it to export and play normally. Any ideas? Thanks. Well, this is a problem. I actually helped my buddy Aram tackle this problem not too long ago. Basically, you hook your camera up, you hook the DVX up to the computer via FireWire. You go into Final Cut. Let's launch that right now. So you're launching Final Cut. I still have my Six Flags project open here. You want to go to Log and Capture. I don't have a camera hooked up, so that's what that message was. But, this should look familiar to you when you're doing Log and Capture. This is how you have to import your footage with tape media. This is not like the DSLRs where they're just files that you just bring in from your memory card. So you want to go up to Capture Settings and device control, whatever your device is. If you have a deck, I'm pretty sure just FireWire NTSC will work. Now, it's your capture and input settings. If you keep it on DV NTSC, it's going to think it's 29.97. So you want to change your capture and input setting to 2332 pull down removal. What that is, the removal is it's removing those extra frames. The way it works when you record in 24p on the DVX is it's recording the footage on a 60i 29.97 tape, but it's doing it in such a way so that every A frame and B frame, it's doubling, and it's very complicated. But what this capture setting does is it removes that doubled frame whenever there's a doubled frame, And when it removes those frames and puts it together, it becomes 24p. It's very confusing. I don't know why. I'm very glad that we're now in the DSLR days where we can just dump footage right from a memory card, because I remember going to college and working with tape media all through college. Just so many problems with capture settings and inputs and drop frames and the tape screwing up, or the tape being weird and choppy. I'm so glad that we're past that now. The DVX is a good camera. I love the 24p look of it. Lots of cameras shoot 24p, but some of them, like Canon's 24p on anything besides the DSLRs, looks really like shit. I don't know what it is. It's just stuttery. It doesn't look right. But Panasonic's 24p looks really good. And when they jumped to HD and they did the HVX, and now recently the HPX is out, which I've used recently, the 24p look, those cameras are solid. You don't get the shallow depth of field that you do with the DSLRs because the sensor size is not as large. If you look at my other Ask Steve episodes, I talk about depth of field and things like that, and so I won't go into it now. But I hope that works. If that doesn't work, going to that capture preset, let me know, and we can figure out, what to do then. All right, let's move on to the next question. So the next one is from Bruno Miguel. Hey Steve, I have a question. It's guitar related. Hi, first of all, congratulations on your channel. It's really interesting. I love how you put all that effort into helping others with your experience. That's the kind of people who become great artists, filmmakers, etc. Thank you very much. I really appreciate the compliment. My question is about that incredible Metal Gear Solid 2 acoustic cover. It's simply the best I've heard. Simply the best. Never mind. Even my girlfriend, who doesn't know or didn't know Metal Gear Solid, became immediately a fan at that point. I'm a die-hard fan of the whole saga, so am I. And since I've bought a guitar and started to get serious about it, the quality of your cover has become some sort of goal for me. The only thing missing are those tabs so I and her can practice. Do you still have them? I'd be greatly thankful if you could help. Thank you for your compliment. If you want to see the video, check it out right here. I was taking a sick day from editing one time. It was years ago when I was working weddings. But I was just either playing Metal Gear or I was listening to Metal Gear music on YouTube, and I decided to do my own version. Now, thank you so much for the compliments. I'm a huge Metal Gear Solid fan. It's a great game, a great series. Thank you for the compliments on the guitar playing. Sadly, though, unfortunately, I didn't use tabs. I don't have the tabs for that song. For those of you who don't know, and I'm sorry this is off topic with film, but I do get questions about this, like where are the tabs? You're not the first one to ask me, Bruno. What tabs are, tabs is short for tablature, and it's basically a guitar-specific method of writing music. The classical method is to have the clef with the lines, and they have, quarter notes, half notes, and all that stuff. That's like classical music reading. You can look at that music and play it on an oboe, and play it on a piano, and play it on a French horn, and it's the same thing. But what tablature is it has 6 lines representing the 6 strings of the guitar, and has numbers which indicate the frets. So it might be like fret 1 and fret 3, and that would be a chord. And a lot of people, what they do is they search online and they download tabs that people have made on their own from just listening, and that's how a lot of people learn how to play guitar. It's how I learned how to play a lot of songs when I was first learning how to play. I learned how to play a Metallica song, learned how to play pretty much just Metallica, maybe some Offspring, but tabs were a big part. And I used to have this program called Tabit, where you could put in the tabs, you hit play, and it plays it back like a MIDI. And I thought that was one of the coolest things ever. But I don't learn songs by downloading tabs. I learn songs by my ear. I listen to it, and I find it, and I practice, and I play it. Honestly, it's been so long since that video, I don't remember how to play it. So I would literally have to go back to the video, watch myself, and just see the notes I'm playing, and just relearn it. If that's not something you can do, I urge you to try. It's a great way to try to wean yourself off of having to use tabs. Tabs can become a crutch for guitar players, but I really think if you practice hard enough, you can just hear the notes one at a time and play it, find the notes on the guitar, and just practice. And I feel that you'll remember how to play it for a longer period of time. Now, with me and that thing, I don't remember how to play it now because it's just been a long time. I haven't been playing it since then. But as I recall, there's 3 parts. There's the rhythm. I played the song in drop D tuning, so if you want to know, it's in drop D. But there's the rhythm section, there's the high section, and then in the middle, like sort of halfway through, I start to do this weird like part. I don't know how to explain it. It's like a violin part from Metal Gear Solid 2. But I probably talked a little too long about this. Sorry to rant on it for so long. We can get back to the filmmaking stuff, but I really appreciate the compliment. I'm so busy that I don't think I can make you a tab. I'm sorry. Please watch the video and try and just like, it's in HD, so blow it up real big. Just watch my fingers as I play. It's in drop D tuning, and just do your best with trying to just play along with me. Just go a little bit at a time. If I do have a break at some point, maybe I'll do a video where I'm actually playing the song and showing you how I do it. But I just don't have enough time to sit down and write tabs and put them up. I'm sorry. If there's anyone out there who's really good at guitar and can just pick it up by listening and make tabs really quickly, please check out the video and help this guy out, especially if you're a Metal Gear Solid fan, and I'd appreciate it a lot. Okay, next question. So, what do we got here? The next one is from Supercon57 with the subject, more videos? He says, "Hi Steve, new fan, love informative videos. That's why I make them. My name is John Lee. I'm an aspiring freelance videographer / photographer of 7 months with no school background. I just wanted to reach out and say thank you for the very informative videos. You're welcome. I am aware that they are about a year old, but you taught me a thing or two about my new H4n and lighting for interviews. They're getting old, I know. It's been months since I put up a video, so this is why I'm doing it. I understand that you must have a vastly larger knowledge of the field because of your background. You must have been shooting for years now, whereas I have only been shooting for 7 months. I have been shooting for years, but people can be quick learners, but I have been shooting for years. But don't let that fool you. I can hold a pretty extensive conversation of cameras. Cool. The video that brought me to message you was Ask Steve Episode 2. And if you'd like to see Ask Steve Episode 2, click this link. Okay. I was hoping you would consider doing the same video, but more up to date. Reflect current prices of cameras, cards, etc. Touch down on newer cameras like the T4i with the Digic 5 and STM, or maybe even your thoughts on the Blackmagic. Okay. I would love to hear your input on the new cameras versus the old cameras, current affordable prices compared to a year ago. I'm sure it would be roughly 30-minute video, but I would love to hear your thoughts. How right you are. I'm sure you're busy, but for what it's worth, I'm just starting out with a start-out company, and if you're interested in contacting me, you can find me here. He has his link. Thank you for your time. I hope to hear back from you. His link is facebook.com/John, John Lee, Lee, Stills, Stills. There's a plug for you, buddy. Okay. My videos are getting a little bit old. I mean, you put a video up on YouTube and it's a snapshot in time. I don't think much has changed though since the old Ask Steve videos. The biggest thing is that the 5D Mark III came out, and I have a video about that. You can check it out right here. So I talked about that. The 5D Mark III is $3,500, and the 5D Mark II is $2,500. Maybe it's come down a little bit. I haven't checked B&H in a while, but 5D Mark IIs used or refurbished are very affordable. I actually, in my 5D Mark III video, I said that I was super excited and then I was going to get it. I have not yet gotten it. It's been a few months. A few reasons why. Number one, money. The risk of selling my camera and then buying the new one, just with having to have a shoot in the middle and all this stuff, I was just kind of scared. I didn't buy the camera. At first, for the first couple of weeks it was out, I did get a chance to shoot with it on a wedding with a company that I work for, and I like it a lot. I've been told that it's a little soft because they're trying to combat moireing, which is a weird like strobe effect that happens when you film tightly knit lines. So in order to combat that, they put literally like a piece of soft glass in there somewhere, in the camera somewhere. And there's actually like tutorials of how to like take apart the 5D Mark III and take that thing out. Obviously that would void your warranty completely, but apparently it makes it sharper. But to my eye and to the footage that I've seen on a TV or just looking at the back of the LCD, it doesn't look any less sharp. It looks really good. So at first I was taken aback, and then I was like, well, you know what? It's a really good camera. I'm still thinking about getting it, but at this point, I think I'm just going to hang on to my 5D Mark II for a while because it's really good. I just spent a lot of money on a Steadicam rig. So along with the glide cam, I now have the glide cam vest and the arm, and maybe that's a good idea for a tutorial coming up. So yeah. But anyway, the 5D Mark III. It records 30 minutes, which is awesome. These cameras only record 12, so that can really help when especially doing something like this. But yeah, the T4i. Honestly, I haven't really looked at the T4i. I'm assuming it's not much different than the T3i or the T2i. I actually worked on a short film with the T2i, and it looks great. I mean, if you rent some really good glass, like some Zeiss lenses or L glass, you put it on the T2i. It's the same sensor as the 7D. It's gonna look great. The T4i, the Digic 5 is a processor. Maybe it's faster. I'm not sure. I think all the little minute changes that happen through the models of cameras affect more of a still photographer. So you said you are a photographer, so you would probably know more about, you know, the subtle differences between the cameras in terms of taking stills. Maybe the autofocus is better. Maybe there's more points of autofocus. I was actually talking to a photographer recently who was just telling me about autofocus. With cinematography, there is no such thing as autofocus. It's always manual focus. And I'm going to be talking about this a lot in my upcoming focus tutorial, which is going to be really fun. I'm planning it out a lot. I'm in pre-production right now. I'm basically going to go through 5 situations, different situations of focus, and show you tips and techniques on how to do it. The video's not up yet because I haven't done it yet, but as soon as it is up, I'm going to annotate to it right here. So for a couple of weeks, there's not going to be anything floating here, but then at some point there will be. Click it, focus tutorial. I'm thinking it's going to be a multifaceted tutorial, meaning there's going to be different videos to click on. It's going to go from one to the next video. So it's going to be multiple parts. It's going to be pretty cool and epic, and I'm looking forward to shooting it. But to go back to your question, STM. I honestly have no idea what the STM is. I probably should have done a Google search. I'm sorry. But the Blackmagic cinema camera, I will talk about the Blackmagic cinema camera. If you haven't seen it, it's really cool looking. It's about this big. It's a whole touch screen on the back. It does HDI, SDI out from it. The sensor size is a little bit smaller than a 7D, but it still records in higher definition than the 7D because the 7D is a still camera. And so the sensor size is a certain size, APC-C. Now, if the 7D sensor could record video using the full sensor, it would be a 4K camera. It would be 4,000 lines by like 30-something hundred lines. If I say again, if the 7D was using the whole sensor to record video, it would be a 4K camera. This 5D would be a 5K camera. The sensor is 5,000 lines going this way and I don't know offhand, but 30 something lines going, I don't know. But when they say 4K, it has to do with the lines going this way, not this way. Weird, right? But anyway, if the 7D recorded video using the whole sensor, it would be a 4K camera. The Blackmagic Cinema camera is not a 4K. The sensor is a little bit smaller than the 7D, but it records all of the sensor. So you're getting somewhere between a super 16 millimeter size and like a 3K. So it's more resolution than HD, the Blackmagic Cinema camera. It's something like 1.5 times more than HD, which is really cool, especially since it's a $3,000 camera. That's really cool. So it's affordable, quote unquote. I've seen test footage from it. The test footage looks really cool. I really like the look of the camera, and it really makes me think I might want to buy it, but I really don't have the money. But I really like the way it looks. There are definitely cons. The cons of the Blackmagic Cinema camera, number one, is that because of the size of the sensor and because it's going to be using 35 millimeter size lenses, when you put the lenses that are 35 millimeter size, this 5K sensor lenses, on to that size sensor, you're only using the middle of that lens, which means it's cropping, because that's just the way the physics are. So what really sucks is when you put a, let's say, 100 millimeter lens on the Blackmagic Cinema camera, because of the crop, that's now a 230 millimeter lens. That's right, there's a 2.3 times crop. So if you have a 50 millimeter lens and you put it on the Blackmagic Cinema camera, it's now 120 something millimeter lens. So the tough part with the Blackmagic Cinema camera is getting a wide angle. You're going to have to rent or get something like an 11 millimeter. Tokina makes an 11 to 16. That's going to be like the go-to lens for that camera, because an 11 to 16 millimeter with the 2 times crop would be like a 24 to like 35 millimeter lens, which is not bad. 24 is not bad. I am using my L glass over here, which is a 16 to 35 lens, and 16 millimeters is pretty wide. But it seems the widest that you're going to be able to get in equivalency to a 5D would be like a 24 millimeter lens, because of that 2 times crop. The other thing that is a downfall of the Blackmagic Cinema camera is, like, you need more than just the camera, really. The camera itself is $3,000, but you need the recording media. It doesn't record on CF cards or SD cards. It records on solid state hard drives. So like if you want to get like a 250 gig solid state hard drive, that's like another like $500. They're really expensive at the moment, and you're going to need at least 2. So that's another 1,000 right there. The other downfall is that the camera has a battery in it that takes a little while to charge. I forget how much, maybe 4 hours to charge, and the battery lasts, I don't know, I don't remember. I don't have the stats right in front of me, but let's say the battery lasts an hour. Okay, that kind of sucks. But the way that the camera is designed and the way that the company has marketed it is that the battery is a backup. So you're going to need to buy an external battery, like a Anton Bauer or something along the lines that has a connector to connect to the Blackmagic Cinema camera. And when that battery dies, the camera battery kicks in, hopefully without having to stop recording, and you can swap out the battery with another Anton Bauer with another battery of some sort, and then the new battery kicks in, and then the camera battery goes back to not being used. So now you're going to need 2 more batteries, and I know Anton Bauer batteries are $500. Who knows how much the mount is, the connector piece that goes to it. So you're talking maybe another $1,000, another $1,500 for batteries and mounts, and then you're going to need some rig to put it on. If you don't already have a follow focus and rails, you're going to need something like that. So if you're really going to invest in the Blackmagic Cinema camera, you're not talking $3,000. You're talking at least $4,500, to $5,000 when you get all the accoutrements. Now, you can, but the thing is, I like the way it looks a lot. I think the Blackmagic Cinema camera has, it's the closest thing I've seen to film 16 millimeter film. It looks like 16 millimeter film. I happen to really like the look of 16 millimeter film. It's a little grainy, but it does have that film look. It really, I think it looks great. Once again, the downfall, the crop, the 2x crop, and the fact that you need solid state hard drives and a battery and all that stuff. But it's promising. It's definitely promising. I would love to do a project with it. I would love to do a dramatic film with it. Is there anything else about this question that I missed? New cameras, love to hear your thoughts, blah, blah, blah. I think that's about it. I think I answered this question. So moving on to the next one. Next one is from Hole27, WHOLE 27, with the subject Mark III. Pardon me a second. All right, he says, hey, I was really disappointed about the Mark III not having 1080p at 60 frames a second. Okay, I'm sorry. Now we are going to have to wait another 3 years to get it in the Mark IV! Exclamation point. I am very cheap, and I am not like most people who will keep updated cameras. I hear you. I want to buy one and be done with it! Exclamation point. And I was really hoping the Mark III would be it, but I'm very disappointed. Like you, I only care about video. I heard Philip Bloom say the Mark II is actually better raw, and you have to sharpen and grade the Mark III footage just to get it up to par, which sucks. I was mentioning that earlier about the softness thing. Philip Bloom says you need to sharpen it. Have you tried out the Mark III yet since you uploaded your review of it? I'd be interested to know your hands-on thoughts. Do you think maybe a firmware would be developed for the Mark III in the future to give us 1080p at 60 frames a second? I really want that for the best quality slow-mo. I want to put all my footage on DVD. Have you worked with DVDs much? How does 720p quality look on DVD? Okay, there's a lot of stuff about the Mark III, and then that DVD line threw me for a loop. I'm going to answer that one first, because that's the most important, I think. Once again, I really want the best quality slow-mo. I want to put all my footage on DVD. Have you worked with DVDs much? How does 720p quality look on DVD? 720p quality, how does it look on DVD? It looks like standard definition quality. You know why? Because DVDs cannot show HD footage. This is like the 20th time I've told people this. I'm starting to get kind of annoyed. We're in this world of HD, and we're leaving SD behind, and DVDs can only output 480p or 480i, 480 lines of resolution going this way. That's what DVDs are. You can take a 720p video and with like iMovie or something, drop it onto to iDVD and burn it. And yes, the file that you have is a 720p file. You burned it on a DVD. That's cool. When you put it in a DVD player and you watch it on your TV, the DVD player is signaling, the signal going from the DVD player to your monitor is 480. It's not HD. You can see my frustration. If you want to have HD on a disc, you need a Blu-ray. Blu-rays can do and can project and output signal from the Blu-ray player to your TV, a 720p or a 1080i or a 1080p signal. Only Blu-rays can do HD. DVDs cannot do HD. I even responded to him, I think, so, but I just wanted to put it out there. It just boggles my mind too, because he's so worried about 1080p, 60 frames a second. I want the best quality, and he doesn't know that DVDs are not the best quality. DVDs are the least quality you can get. So that kind of irks me, I'm sorry to say. I mean, I'm sure you're a nice guy, Hole 27. I'm sure you just didn't know, and that's fine. I'm sorry for getting on my soapbox, but now you know. Now, I mentioned stuff with the Mark III. I don't know why the Mark III doesn't do 60 frames per second at 1080p. I don't know why. I would think it has something to do with the capability of the sensor or the write speed or something. But it honestly didn't disappoint me very much because I'm not doing slow-mo too much. And when I am doing slow-mo, 720p, it's fine. I really don't have much else to say about it. Yeah, it does suck though. I mean, you would think, because I was in Best Buy and I saw a little, handy recorder and it did 60 frames a second in 1080p. So, I don't know. Maybe you can ask Canon. I'm not sure why they would do that. But it didn't really bug me. You have to wait till the Mark IV. I'm sure. But yeah, I'm very cheap, and I'm not like most people who keep updated cameras. I want to buy one and be done with it. My thoughts about that are get rid of that mentality because you're just going to be in a perpetual state of hell. Cameras and technology in general is always updating. They're always pushing the next thing. It's the corporate mentality. How do we keep making this better and better and better? If you watch the Angry Video Game Nerd, he has a you know what's bullshit video, and one of the things is iTunes. And I completely agree because when you first had iTunes, you could just hit a button and you burn a disc. Where'd the button go? It's not there anymore. It's gone. Why? Because no one cares anymore. And then it just keeps, it was just simple. You open iTunes and it's just music. And now it's like the Genius service where it's like going to different iTunes people and picking songs for you, kind of like Pandora or radio or something. And then there's like the Ping service and all this extra, it's just going to keep, it's like the same with Facebook. Facebook was simple, but now they have the timeline and things are moving around and every year they have to revamp the site. And I don't know why companies do this. If there's a business model or if there's a graphical user interface that's working and it's really good and people like it, why is there always a need for corporations to take that and completely redesign it every year? I don't understand. Why can't there be some sort of consistency with the internet? And it bugs me, and I don't know why. And this Ask Steve is turning more into a rant the more this video keeps going on. All right, powering through. Let's go to the next one. This one is from Ninja Flipkin, and every time there's an I in his name, there are two of them. So it's Ninja Flipkin. And also, I wrote here, it's a similar question to a question written to me by Tiny Mini 7. So I'll read Tiny Mini 7's first. Hi, Dakasa. Hi, Tiny Mini. I'm 17 years old, and I have a short script that I would like to turn into a short film for my club. I know a little bit about filming, and by little I mean I watch a lot of TV and behind the scenes of YouTubers like Wong Fu Production and others. I kind of understand the basic of filming itself, but I have little to no idea about what kind of equipment I should buy. At the moment, I'm thinking about buying the Canon G10 because my father convinced me, blah, 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 blah. I'm sorry to skip over this. Do you think I should get this camera, or do you think I should get something cheaper? If you think cheaper, what should I buy? I have my eyes set on the Canon Vixia HF-R21. Aside from the camcorder, what mic should I buy? What this should I buy? What that should I buy? I can't decide. My father, blah, 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 blah. I'm sorry to skip, but I think we get the point. What to buy. This, that, the other thing. It's hard, I understand. But I'm going to skip to the next question because it's very similar. And I actually responded directly to this person. And I'm going to read that response and maybe vamp a little bit on that as well. So the similar question was from Ninja Flipkin. And he says, hey man, I'd just like to say that your videos are very informative and helpful. Smiley face. My name's Jamie. I'm 16 years old from New Zealand. Middle Earth, as some people know it. And then he has the : P, which I believe is. and I'm really interested in starting filmmaking. Uh, First, let me just stop. Ninja Flipkin or Jamie, I know this is such a dick thing to say, but filmmaking has two M's, and you spelled it Filmmaking. Filmmaking or filmmaker has two M's. I had to ingrain that into my memory too because I was always typing filmmaker. I'm a filmmaker. I'm filmmaking, and I looked it up I think one time and I saw that it has two M's. So and plus right now there's a little red squiggly line underneath it. So just so you know, filmmaking two M's because it's doubly awesome. So anyway, and I'm really interested in starting filmmaking. Awesome. Currently, I have no equipment at all, but I'm very keen to get going as soon as possible. I have a job in a restaurant and I can start saving for equipment. I'm also unsure of where to start once I get equipment. Any ideas? Thanks so much, Jamie, smiley face. I subbed to you, by the way. Thank you. Now, much shorter question, which I appreciate, from Tiny Mini, but basically the same thing. I want to start filmmaking. What do I do? And I think I was just very inspired. And when someone who's young, who goes into filmmaking and is just taking their first step into the career and into the abyss, I applaud you, and I remember what it was like for me when I was in high school, when it clicked in my brain that I wanted to be a filmmaker, that I wanted to be a director. So it just sort of makes me all like gushy inside. So I took the time and I sat down and I responded with the length about 10 times as long as his question. And so I'm reading it now. I'm going to read my response to him. And this response also goes to Tiny Mini 7. Here it is. So my response was this. Hey, first let me say that you are awesome. And I don't mean for watching my videos and subscribing, although that's pretty cool of you. No, you are awesome for wanting to go into film. If I had any advice for you, and this is for Tiny Mini, and this is for everybody out there who doesn't know what equipment to buy. If I had any advice for you, it's to not worry about technology. And I mentioned this in the email before about technology, and things are always changing. You're never going to be able to keep up with technology. So you shouldn't rely on it. So let me get back to this. If I had any advice for you at all, it's to not worry about technology. Whatever camera you have or editing software you can get your hands on, whatever camera you have or editing software or whatever is not what makes you a great filmmaker. Just grab whatever you can get your hands on and create. You will learn as you go. You will teach yourself. And slowly, as you make your films, you'll notice what is good lighting, what is a good edit, and you'll improve bit by bit. I started making films when I was like 10 years old. I would use my dad's VHS-C camcorder. We didn't have microphones. We didn't even have any way to edit the movie, so we had to shoot all the scenes in order. We didn't have a way to dub in the music, so we would play music on a tape recorder that was next to the camera as we filmed it to get music in the shot. For credits, I would use Microsoft Word on my desktop computer, and I would film my computer screen. Crazy, huh? Now I'm bogged down with all this technology and having to spend so much money on different things, and I have to stop and remind myself that none of that matters. And that in 6 months, some new camera will come out that makes everything I own obsolete. Also remember that for the most part, film is a collaborative medium, meaning you need people to help you. So I'd also work on your people skills and make friends and be an all-around cool guy. The last thing people want to do is make a film with someone who's a dick. Be open to suggestions, but also be firm in your vision. Allow yourself to be influenced by others, and be open to the fact that what you set out to make may change a lot as you are making it. You may end up with something so much better than you ever planned. Allow yourself to make mistakes. Sometimes those mistakes lead to film gold. So beg, borrow, and steal. Get your hands on someone's camera. Get your friends together and make something. As you learn, you'll decide what look you like and what cameras you like or you don't like. Save your money, and eventually you'll come to a decision on a camera that suits your needs and your taste. Buying a camera is like eating ice cream. You buy what flavor is your favorite. So good luck, stay in touch, and when you make a film, post it up online and let me see. I'll give you constructive criticism. Happy filmmaking. Peace, Steve. So that's my mentality. I'll go through it again just to sort of hit some bullet points. I think this is pretty good, but now that I have this platform to sort of elaborate and vamp a little, I think I will. I mean, I said it there. Whatever you've got, even if it's your iPhone or even if it's your cell phone, just make something. Just have fun and make something. And I said it. When I was 10, I used to use my dad's VHS camcorder. VHS-C were mini VHS cassettes that you put in the camcorder and you'd record about 30 minutes at a time. And then when you wanted to watch it on screen, you take out the cassette and you put it in an adapter, and these two little like prongs would come and lift the tape out of the VHS-C and stretch it to a full VHS length so you can put it in a VHS machine. Now, what's a VHS machine? I have one right here. I still have stuff that I'm dubbing from it. It's very old school, but I grew up with it. I have movies on VHS. And like I said, we didn't have microphones, so we just got close. We didn't have any way to edit, so we just shot everything in order. We didn't have any way to put music in it, so we just held tape recorders with cassette tape recorders with music playing and just held it next to the camera. It was really, really fun and really crazy. But when I was doing those films when I was 10, I had no idea that I was going to go into filmmaking. I was just having fun and goofing around. And I think that's sort of what film has to be in the beginning, is just exploring, having fun, goofing around, and you know, not taking yourself too seriously, just having fun, and it's also being with friends. Like I said, it's a collaborative medium. You need to work on your people skills. You have to be a producer. You have to not be afraid to call somebody and ask somebody and be like, can we film here? Can we come in? Just be really nice. Just be a nice person. Be assertive. And don't be so stringent on what your film is. Like I said, just don't take yourself too seriously. Be open to suggestions. You know, acknowledge them and either say, well, I think that's a great idea, but I kind of want to try it my way and see what happens. And if maybe we can do both, and you know, pick one when we edit or whatever. But allow for mistakes to happen. Like I said, I basically am just repeating everything I said. I'm pretty good with responses. So any last things? Yeah, that's pretty much my main philosophy. What camera to buy? What should I get? What microphone to buy? Just whatever looks good, whatever's cheap. If it's your first camera, it doesn't need to be great. Just whatever you can get your hands on. I would say don't buy it. I would say borrow somebody's and have fun. This is Steve DeCo. No, there's more. There is more. I hope you're still entertained. I hope you're still watching. You've reached the end of part 1 of Ask Steve, episode 5. So please click the link right here to go to part 2 and watch some more awesomeness.